Our country, Myanmar, is one of the natural countries that are saturated in the world. In the territory of Myanmar, simple and friendly villages. The brightness of Buddha's Sasana of teachings of Buddha. Innocent children, real and beautiful scenery of nature comprised collectively each other. In Myanmar, if we look into the well-developed regions and developing regions, we can see the rural places and the urban places. There are no well-developed regions where they are fresh enclave of the nature that human being can survive well. The daily life of the rural region starts with the sound of daisy, triangular breast corn, and almond thread made from a hollow log of the village monastery, and he paid obeisance to the Buddhas. Morning merit of the village is offering rice to monks. The lives of human beings depend on the main sectors, such as foods, clothes, and shelter. The houses of the villages are created with wood, bamboo, and thatch or nipple palm. The cooking and eating food of the villagers are natural. For the curry, they pluck the natural vegetables in their compound or surrounding and cook them simply. They are fresh and do not contain chemicals and insecticides. And meat, fish, egg, and milk are also natural and not from the chemical animal husbandry. In the morning, the children in the green and white school uniform go to their teacher's house and go to the school with the teacher. The daily life of the villagers are sampled by cultivating and planting in the field during the planting season. After harvesting, they spend their time by feeding the cattle and casting nets to catch the fish and so on. At the end of the day, all the members of the family complete. Their family dinner means on behalf of the unity and love of family. After dinner, the children study their school lessons. The steadying sound of the children and the sound of the great shuffle blanket the night. After studying, the children and the family go to bed. The region, which is very different from the countryside, is urban area. The cities are more developed than the villages. The modern building, the roads crowded, peopled, and vehicles, and the factories are modernizing the cities. The most useful vehicles are cars. In Yangon, the vehicles are increasing in number day after day. By using a lot of cars, transporting can be made easily. In the sectors of business, social affairs, education, health, and so on. The advantages of the factories are very wonderful. All the products we use daily are produced by the factories. If they do not produce them, it is sure that our survival will be ruined. Generally, it can be said that the dense population is a sign of strategic point of development in the region. That professionals, public service personnel, and people from many kinds of races can be seen in Yangon, as it is the place where the workers all over Myanmar can make their living. It can be marked that it is globalization because the human beings communicate each other closely. All of these are the image of development of a nation. But even the medicine that can cure the disease has side effects. Like this, no one can deny that the development of the human has advantage and disadvantage of the culture. The numbers of the buildings are more and more in the cities. But because of the constructing these buildings, a lot of trees are lost. Moreover, the behavior without having discipline of the residents makes the surrounding trouble. The frontage of the building is grand and beautiful, but the backpacks are full of rubbish that has nothing feel. These are the cues of the pollution of natural surrounding and abnormal climate. That is the biggest challenge in living in Yangon. That is traffic jam. In developed countries, the number of vehicles are more than Yangon. But they had well roads and well rules and regulations for the vehicles. In Yangon, a large amount of vehicles crowded on the hot roads cannot move forward or backward. As we know that heat and smoke that exhaust from the cars cannot give the fresh and clean air for human beings, and they can take the climate swirls. We survived by using the products of the factories, but we can die because of the smoke and discarded waste. Because of the factories, natural water resources became dirtied, and the streams and the rivers are also not cleaned. So factories are one of the cues of abnormal climate. One of the disadvantages of the dense population is drawing more rubbish, so not only natural art resources, but also natural water resources are dirtied. That population increase all the time, so we do not dare to consider that how much the population is dense and how much the climate changes worse after many years. Nowadays, the topic which is said most all over the world, including Myanmar, is about changing climate wars. In the world, if the outer status is ruined, only relevant things will be ruined. But the climate changes worse, the survival of the things will be ruined. We all are doing to develop our world. At the same time, the loss becomes. So we must celebrate the progress and the loss. In order to prevent the changing climate wars, we should plant the trees as many as we can. If we can carry out the great task, if a young giant plants a tree, it is only a tree the giant plants. But a large numbers of the trees are planted. It surely gives the coolness and shade to the human beings. Moreover, those trees will look after the next generations. So we request you to look after our beloved Myanmar and the world by planting the trees. And the mirror side a poem by ancient Myanmar poet Taung. The mountains are beautiful. The forests are also wonderful. Pleasant too. The river on the smooth and white sandy banks. A lot of birds happy forever.